I had to make sure it was working. Anyway, so I got asked my opinion, and I was thinking about doing just any footage that came out at the end of this weekend or whatever. To be honest, I actually don't think it's that interesting though. Just kind of a lot of stuff that I've already talked about, but I guess I'll give my opinion on it. You know what I mean? I know people are going crazy about the air dash stuff, and like I said, I wasn't really worried about the air dash speed per se. I was more just worried that there's an actual legitimate visual cue to it, right? But I mean, someone was saying like, check out this video, right? But it really illustrates some of the things I talked about before, right? And I know someone in the comments of my last video was, I, dude, it literally like I kind of like I pull back sometimes when I read the comments because I don't understand why people want to lie about a video game. Like some dude was like, "Oh no, when you block in there, he's been poisoned. He just." I was like, "Dude, I put out footage showing that what you're talking about isn't true." It's like, it's like I don't know why there's such a fundamental backlash against. Like I said before, if you hate fundamental aspects of what originally made fighting games popular in the first place, you probably shouldn't be talking about fighting games, right? I don't understand the backlash against fundamentals about what made fighting games popular in the first place against DPs and all this stuff. And this dude in the comment, he was just trying to say like, oh, but even though you can block DPs in the air, you know what I mean? It only puts you at neutral. It's still very risky to like block in the air, whatever. It's like, dude, what the fuck? No, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? Right? I've showed multiple videos where a dude blocks a DP in the air, and the dude who blocked it, and again, there's no more FD in this game, or there's FD, but you don't need FD to block normals in the air and DPs. And the dude who blocked is actually at the advantage. And this dude tried to show me a video where the dude who blocked was at the advantage. It's like, oh well, it's just like a frame advantage. Okay, just fucking stop, dude. I don't. It's so fucking creepy that people want to argue about video games to me, right? Anyway, let me just show you this because I'm gonna show you again, and this is just illustrating some of my theory on this game, right? So first of all, people were like, "Oh, it's so risky to block in there because you take so much of your risk gauge, right?" Oh my God, dude, I don't understand why people just can't see what's in front of them, right? Let me just look at this, right? So risky to block in air. I just want to show you something. Roll with me to the end. We got Soul here. He's got no guard meter. Hopefully you can see. We got Kai here. He's doing a cool looking pose. He's a fucking ninja dude, right? Anyway, he does his little air dash off the bubble, right? Now watch how much Soul's guard meter goes up. Boom. Man, that's a fucking simple string, right? So keep this in mind, right? Because people are like, oh, when you block in the air, it's so risky because you take so much guard meter, right? Okay, I want to show you this. Where is it? 147, I think. So Soul has nothing, right? Soul has nothing, right? And Soul, because you don't need to do any of the FD jump stuff anymore, which again, to all my haters, there wasn't even FD jumping in Guilty Gear before I explained how to do it, so there you go. So Soul just jumps instantly, right? Well, he blocks that, and he does. He takes a lot of guard meter, but wait a second. Even though he blocked a hard, basically chicken blocked it, right? Even though he basically chicken blocked the hard, look where he landed, right? He's not in stun, right? So I want you to roll with what I'm getting at here, and I explained this in other videos. At least I thought I did. I don't know. I guess people can't keep up. Point is, so in this game, it looks like to discourage, all the fuzzy guard stuff, etc., whatever, from when you like block normals in the air and then land, or a move in the air, any kind of move you block in there, and then the guard stun keeps you on the ground, you can potentially be fuzzy. Which again, to all my haters, guess what? Shit like that wasn't known in Guilty Gear before I explained it all as a kid when I was traveling around either. People didn't know the game even worked like that, right? Anyway, but that sort of fuzzy guard shit is such a common aspect, I guess, of like it was really talked shit about in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right? Well, in this game, it would appear from all the footage that I've seen that they really don't want those kind of situations. So when you block any kind of move in the air, look, he just blocked a heart attack that low in the air, and he chicken blocked it because he doesn't even have to do it with FD. He doesn't even have to FD jump anymore, right? He blocked it that low in the air. He lands, he's not still blocking, dude. He's not still in that guard, so there's no like fuzz. So the game is trying to discourage that kind of fuzzy guard shit. But with the low block stun from blocking in the air. But think about that from the perspective, think about that on a deeper level, right? So when a character blocks a move in the air, and as I've shown before, you can block DPs in there and you recover before the guy potentially to punish if the other dude's still in the corner after it, right? Obviously, you bounce away. No shit, Sherlock. I can visually fucking see the character bouncing away. Fuck my titties, dude, right? Jesus Christ. Original recipe, dude. Jesus Christ. Original recipe. Anyway, I thought I was going to be funny, but I fucked up my own joke. Anyway, point is, they have really low block stun in this game when you block a move in the air. So let's think about this. Let's go back to this air dashing thing, right? Because people are like, oh, well, air dash, because people were first. And like I said, dude, I wasn't worried about the air dash speed per se, even when they were showing May how fast her air dash was, whatever, right? I was worried about the visual cue, right? So we saw how much block damage Soul took from that air attack, right? When he blocked it air to air. Kind of almost running. Let's imagine that he did that to run away. He just said, fuck, he's air dashing. Think about it. Yeah, this could be perfect. This is what I want you to get at. So look at this. We have this situation here, right? Watch this. Imagine in a real match, right? You see a character, you see this orange little yellow bubble. There is nothing else that creates this orange little yellow bubble in the game, okay? The guy has to be air dashing forward at you at some sort of speed, right? Correct? They can't be air dashing back. This little yellow orange siggly, siggy, ruin, whatever magical ruin only happens if the guy's going to go forward, right? Correct? So let's imagine in a real match, right? So if he just saw the orange thing, he's like, ah, fuck, I guess I'm just going to block, right? Let's imagine this is what happens, right? So he sees this, he just blocks, right? Look how much block damage he took. Just simple, very, very simple string. There's no like tap, tap, pressure, tap, tap, anything like that, right? Look at his thing right here. Now let's imagine a situation like this. A character sees this orange little bubble, and he isn't confident that he can react with the DP. He isn't confident that he can react with a forward punch, but he's just like, you know what, fuck this mix up. I don't want to deal with whatever's about to happen. I don't need to FD jump anymore. So whenever I see this orange little bubble, I'm just going to jump back, dude. I'm just going to jump back. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Look how much guard meter. Yeah, he did. He blocked the move in there, so he took some guard meter, right? But the position of the match was reset. We also know if you get hit in the air by attacks, I don't know, does he get hit by air and attack real early on here? I forget, right? Okay, so well, we also know if you get hit in the air by an attack in the first place, we're not going to be getting the same kind of conversions as regular in Guilty Gear. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, okay, well, so if for some reason I jumped up and I didn't block, I just ate that amount of damage, right? I just ate that, right? Unlike if I were to, well, geez, that wasn't even a jump-in combo. Unlike if I were to actually eat a jump-in combo and I were to eat big damage, right? Do you get what I'm saying? So because the air dash speed didn't necessarily matter per se, but because of how blocking works in this game, in a sense neutral perhaps, right? Jumping back just to block something is a pretty good, from a certain perspective, fail-safe in this game that it looks like, right? Especially because if we see that orange-yellow bubble, there's nothing else the opponent can be doing, right? So let's say that because I guess you actually can cancel the air dash faster, right? With your attack. Let's say you see the orange bubble and you're not fast enough to forward punch it. You're not fast enough to DP it or whatever you're doing. So you're just like, you know what? Instead of just holding back and blocking this, you know what I mean? And taking this, how much guard meter we saw there, I'm going to fucking fail safe this. And I'm going to run away. I don't need the FD to block. I don't need the FD to block immediately. I can just air block immediately, jump up. I'll take like half my guard meter, but guess what? We're both pushed away. The mix-up is gone. I reacted to the orange bubble with just back up. Correct? Did you get the fail-safe kind of bullshit? Again, this is very basic. This is actually basic shit, if you ask me. But think about it, right? Did you get what I'm saying? The orange bubble, again, the airspeed, the air dash speed wasn't worrying me per se. It was the bubble is something, a visual cue that there's nothing else in the game. That if you see this, you could run away then. Does that make sense? You're not going to be getting high-low mixed up while you block in the air. Imagine if you do get hit in the air, what? The same air-to-air conversions in this game are not the same. You're not going to be taking the same damage as if you were to get hit by a high-low mix-up, right? All the footage I've seen shows that you can basically jump back up almost instantly, right? Who knows? Maybe it's a few frames. I don't know, but it's pretty fucking instant, right? Correct. And again, this gets into other things I thought. Again, it was to discourage, I would assume, programmed into this game to discourage those kind of fuzzy guard kind of situations. But it also will lead to situations and potential mind games like this as well. And I showed this in other videos as well. I showed characters blocking air to air, and when they were actually higher up, when it was just like an air to air battle and the dude blocked the air, the dude recovered that blocked before and punished the other guy. It was in the other video. I showed before when you blocked a DP, the opponent who blocked was at the advantage. Absolute fucking nonsense, right? Do you get what I'm getting at? Anyway, so I've said this before. And there is a problem too, the fact that you can instantly move out of an air dash in a sense too, because you could technically instant air dash and block, and then you go back to you shouldn't be able to block DPs in there. Absolute fucking nonsense. But again, I've said this before. At the end of the day, if you don't like the game, don't buy it, don't support it. If you hate the game, you should not be supporting a game that you think is trash in the first place. It's absolutely fucking nonsense. It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Again, I've never thought there would not be, because I'm in the game. Again, I kind of hate using that word, but since people use it, right? I've definitely, because if a guy always gets knocked back the same way, of course you should be able to set things up, right? Never thought there weren't going to be combos in the game. I definitely see combo potential, just as I said before. I just worry about fundamental aspects of games, right? I know people got to realize I just do combo videos because I can do them, right? Because I'm bored and I'll just do it, right? Hopefully I enjoy the game. I liked how someone on Twitter was trying to argue with me about stuff. He's like, "Oh, you haven't played any games since Street Fighter 2. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, motherfucker? Wasn't the last Evo I went to on disability right before I had the surgery on my hands? Didn't I get second at Evo, a fucking world tournament, at the Street Fighter Alpha tournament? When I could barely even hold the controller anymore, it's completely fucked up, right? Didn't I get second? Like, I've even, I've played other games too. I've played other, I have played Street Fighter 4 and Street Fighter 5. I have played those actually a little bit to troll people online. I mean, most people probably don't know that because I don't talk about it because it's not a big fucking deal to me, right? I just thought that people are so like, what do you know about fundamentals? Pretty sure I have a pretty good grasp of how fighting games work considering what I've done in them, okay? Anyway, but the point is the fundamentals is what I worry most about games, right? And one of the problems with this game is I do worry about the fundamentals in it. And again, the game being simpler is not necessarily a bad thing either. A quotation mark simple game is not necessarily a bad game. Street Fighter may be more simple than Guilty Gear in some ways, but in that simplicity, there's also many complexities as well. Something that is worrisome about this game, and I said this in the other video as well for Guilty Gear though, is that let's think when we think about Street Fighter being simple, there's still 3 different versions of every special move in Street Fighter, right? There's close normals. Guilty Gear is already a game with less moves, less normals, and all that kind of stuff. So there's generally not as many versions of the same special move, right? So that kind of stuff is worrisome if you are making Guilty Gear more simple in that aspect, I think. And then finally, I'll close this with as well. I've said this before. I actually think it's a bad thing that they've been beta testing this game so much. I think it is wrong to beta test a game a year in advance. It's excessive, and it doesn't allow the game to marinate properly. I know some people are like, oh, they said they're gonna, they're taking our opinions. Gosh darn it, they're taking our opinions. They care. They're asking our opinions. Well, no shit, they put out the game a fucking year early, stupid fuck. What do you think? Okay, they just put out the game so you would fucking trash it. Obviously, they didn't put out the game so you could trash it. But I think there's a lot of core fundamental aspects of this game that I would not expect to be heavily changed. Could it change because the game is a year away? Yes, it could be, but I don't think a company would put out a game that they thought was complete trash just so the community would trash it, right? Correct? I don't think they would put themselves out there, here, talk shit about my game, right? You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of core fundamental things that and ideas of the game that probably will stay the same. But again, testing a game a year early is excessive. It's bad. It doesn't let the game marinate properly. There's potentially a lot of stuff that will be taken away that might be some of the fun stuff. And it also shows, I think, the developers, if you are beta testing the game a year in advance, I think it shows in a certain perspective that you don't trust your own product. You don't trust that you know what the fuck you're doing. And you're like, man, geez, we're a year in advance, but let's show people the kind of idea that we have because I don't trust where we're actually going with this game. Do you know what I'm saying? I think there's a perspective of that too. I think it shows that you don't trust your own process, and that's also dangerous to be beta testing a game from that perspective that early on, right? So anyway, again, the footage wasn't that interesting to me. You know, if I don't like the game, I won't play it when it comes out. You know what I mean? And you shouldn't either, right? But it is what it is, right? The end.